Okay, we're back here. We're going to look at one. This is really a tricky one. We'll classify it as a counting question. Kids laugh at that, but these are not terribly easy. Let's see. It says the sum of all even integers from 2 to 202 inclusive is 10,302. And it wants to know what the sum of all even integers from 4 to 200 inclusive is. So we'll just get right into this one. I'd classify this under counting just because, quite honestly, kids, I think, are just going to take their calculator out and do 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10, and all the way up to 200. If you feel like you can do that in a couple minutes, I guess knock yourself out. But I don't believe that's how the problem is designed. I don't believe you have to really do that. But what could we do here? Kids always say, oh, there's got to be a formula. There's a formula or something like that. There's a formula. You could know these formulas. It's just an arithmetic sequence with a common difference of 2, and the first term is 4. You got to figure out how many terms there are. But forget all that. Forget all that. They're not going to, if you want to remember that and plug it into the formula, you can finagle that, you can do that. But let's think about it. Let's think about it logically. When they give you lists and when they give you this information, it's just for a reason. Well, anytime I see lists or patterns, I like to just write a couple terms out, a handful of terms, and see if I can see some kind of correlation. So let's see. 2, I'm going to take the first one. From 2 to 202, inclusive just means including, so it's including 2 all the way up to 202. Right, so it's going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, all the way, what do we got? 200, 202. Right, so that's the first list. Now let's look at the second list. Well, I would do the same thing. I don't have a 2, but I have a 4, a 6, an 8, all the way, my last term there would be 200. Right, well, so now let's compare the terms here. Let's see. If I look at all this, and certainly I'm not going to write them all out, but I could see if I'm adding the top and I'm adding the bottom, well, all this stuff is just going to cross out, isn't it? And even the 200s are going to cross out. Isn't that fair to say? So really, the top one, well, has a 2, and there's nothing comparing that, so it must be at least 2 bigger, and a 202. So altogether, it's got to be 2 plus 202, or 204 bigger on the top, right? And they tell us the top adds to 10,302. So then if I just take 2 plus 202, or 204 away, pretty confident we can do that math, right? It should just be that one. So key takeaway here, don't panic, don't feel like you got to do crazy stuff in the calculator, don't feel like you need a formula. A lot of these questions on these tests, you absolutely do not need a formula. Just need to think about it a little bit. Always list out some terms, look for the correlation. A lot of times it's just canceling stuff out and then seeing what's left.